Alright, time to get the stream fired up. Which means on my end, loading up some of this stuff, loading up the chat so you guys can hear everything, yourselves included. Seems a little blurry. I wonder if the camera's got crap on it from the projects over the weekend. See if I can find a rag real quick while people start filtering in here. There's a rag. That might be a little better. Definitely seems like everything over here behind me is fuzzy. Everything over here seems alright.
Larson said, number 2 slightly smiling face.
Welcome, welcome. I'll let some people start filtering in here. We have 3 people so far, which is great. Although I might be one of those.
Link said, can I try selling on your live LOL?
Yeah, if you want to. If you want, I know TJ's got some Ford Festiva brake rotors available. But yeah, as you can see, my garage, if I step over here for a second, is a mess. There is just enough of a path for me to walk from here to the door, back there. I can barely walk past where I'm standing right now. I'll go ahead and move the camera down for a second. And I'll probably be going over this again once some people come in. But my table here that we're broadcasting from is absolutely covered in stuff. This is the back edge of the TV. But all of this stuff is from projects I'm working on, and it has to go. Because I need this tabletop clear. I need the floor cleared.
Said, please buy them. I sold my Festiva and don't want to throw them away. This is the last time I'm gonna talk about them during your live.
Well, hopefully somebody buys them. They are new after all. But yeah, tabletop's a mess. The garage is a mess. You guys can't see it really on camera, but I actually physically cannot walk past this point to that wall. There are crates and buckets and engine bits just completely strewn about behind the yellow car. I need all this cleared out because I need to work on this on tonight/tomorrow's live stream. And then this next week after, we are going to be working on JD Festiva V2 for the first time, I think, on stream ever, which is going to be super exciting. However, I can't really get to it because it's stuck in the back with all this crap in the way. So step 1, I got to clear all this out now that I've made some progress on these side projects. The contents of which I can show you guys here momentarily. A lot of cool stuff I've been working on just on the side. Then every time I start to make progress, something else comes up and I have to leave halfway through, and then the garage ends up looking like this, which is a disaster. I'd like to have some floor space to use. So with that in mind today, we will be doing some cleanup. I'll be doing some discussion about upcoming projects, stuff I'm working on right now, stuff that we're going to be working on next month, and some stuff we'll be seeing like spring 2025 probably. But a lot of progress happening here. A lot of people come down and help me out with some cool projects that you guys are going to see. Not necessarily on live stream. Some of it will be live streamed. Some of it will be standard video content like you guys are used to. But stick around and find out all about it.
Said, what's your plans looking like for this weekend? I'd love to come up and try helping.
Let me see. Good question. What am I doing this weekend? I've been trying to keep somewhat of a calendar because I've got so much going on recently. Let's see. I think this weekend is the only weekend for the next month basically. I don't have anything exact planned, which means more than likely I'll be working on fuel system upgrades for the turbo in JD Festiva V2, and we will likely be working on some intake and exhaust stuff because I have parts that are on the way that should be here today or tomorrow. So, general concept right now This is a donor car. So Alex Walter, who's a local out here, is been driving the Bean Machine, which is a white GL Auto Festiva. He's put thousands and thousands of miles on it. The B3 is finally getting really tired. It's puking up oil from every seal. Instead of trying to reseal a rather tired B3, he just wants to put in a better, healthier B3. This car has, I think, a little bit of rust, and it has really weird electrical issues. It's having trouble getting 12 volts everywhere. I messed with this one a couple years ago trying to fix the issue. We had it like partially fixed, but then started doing it again. I didn't get a chance to mess with it since then. However, this one is manual. So the goal is to go ahead and take everything out of this one, the engine and trans, get it refreshened, resealed, cleaned up, and then do a full manual swap on the Bean Machine, which is right outside that door. So this week, that's the plan. I want to have that done basically, or mostly done by this week. So it's like next 4 days, basically, it's going to be taking this apart, getting it sealed up, cleaned up, taking this whole car out of here. It's not getting scrapped. It's still getting, like, parts are still being used from this car by the original owner. And then the Bean Machine will come in, and we will start putting everything that we pulled out of this one into that one. We'll be doing a ton of that on live stream this whole week. So if you guys want to see some more content or hang out during live stream, I'm sure I'll be streaming basically that whole thing each day. So feel free to drop in and check out some of that progress. But in order for that to happen, I need my tools kind of put away, and I need the space cleared out so I have somewhere to put the engine hoist and the engine itself, and somewhere to clean and do gaskets, all that fun stuff. I'm sure a lot of you guys that are on here tuned in to watch us do Brad's car, which was the Aqua we did the suspension on, where we took out his B3, got another B3, completely resealed it, refreshed it, and put that in. We're going to be doing basically the same thing, but along with a manual swap this time. So it means a little bit more wiring work, and obviously my area where I've been doing my engine resealing needs to be cleaned up again, since I haven't cleaned it since that project a month ago. So all this is just stuff from like that corner. You can just see the very edge of the frame there. There's a B3 on the engine stand. That was the B3 I used to record the timing belt guide video, which is coming out this week. So all the mess is still there from that. And then all the stuff in that back corner pile, those are all Capri interior parts that I plan on using for a Capri project, which I've put on pause till next year. So really that just needs to be stored somewhere else so it's not taking up a corner of the garage. Everything in this cart was from the day we did Brad's car. Everything on the floor over there, half of that's from that engine, half of it's from Brad's car. And then there's like 6 totes right here you can't really see. You can kind of see the black one right there. There's another one right behind it and 2 more under it. All of that was from one of the Capri part out live streams we did. It's still just stacked up there because I don't have enough room in the shed, or it's been too wet, or I've been too busy to move it. Today it's kind of dried out a little bit, so hopefully we can get all that transferred outside to the shed. And then the table there and the floor there filled with some secret upcoming projects, which will remain secret no longer because we will talk about those as we get it all moved out. So yeah, I think we should probably start with the area where I'm trying to live stream right now and move some of this Capri stuff into a different container. So that would be all of this power steering stuff and these exhaust manifolds. I just listed all this for sale on Marketplace. So any Capri people that happen to be on stream today who are looking for parts, please hit me up. I have to get rid of this stuff. I really need some more space. I also brought in some snacks, and I don't know where I set them down. But wait, hold the phone. They're in my pocket. That's not the snack I meant to grab. Oh well, granola bar sounds great. Also, another big announcement, and I'll probably have to repeat some of the stuff since I think we've got 3 people in here already, but we have channel membership now. So you can pay, I think, a couple bucks a month to be a channel member. Long term, a perk of that, I think for the higher, there's 2 tiers right now. I think tier 1's like $3. You will get to do super chat, and there are custom emojis. One of the emoji is just my face and some goofy glasses. Another one is my little bee profile picture. And JD of Siva V2 is its own little emoji. So yeah, if you become a member, you get to use custom emoji now. I can use 3 currently.
Said. Driving by 19 Versa and I'm looking at your Festiva in the background really makes me miss mine. You never know how much you love something until it's gone.
Yeah, I think I think that's the sentiment you'll hear from anybody who sold a Festiva. They'll tell you that they regret it. I guess that's why I never sell anything. But yeah, especially driving your Versa, I think you're going to miss a Festiva a lot. But yeah, we have channel membership now. So that first tier gets you the emoji. The more members we get, the more emoji I can add. So I can add all sorts of silly stuff on there, which I think will be a lot of fun. And then the higher tier, which I think is $6 or $7, something like that, maybe less. I really don't remember. And I should be able to enable discount code for the Festiva store. So if you pay for the higher membership tier, you get all the emojis and other membership benefits that I'm still working on. And you should receive like a flat percentage off on an order at the store. So we are still working on setting that up. But yeah, if you want to help out the channel, check that out. You can support us now through memberships. We don't have enough watch hours to get paid like for ads. I don't get paid for like view count or anything, but I can make money on YouTube through memberships. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, definitely recommend checking that out. Also, I think the dogs just came in here. I see a little dog back there. I see a big dog right here. What's a big dog? Another day with puppies on stream. Sorry, this is my snack. Nobody. I would also like to clear out all the garbage in here. Maybe I can start with that so I don't bend over with all this heavy stuff yet. Oh, bye puppy. Echo, what you got there? Can I see that? Oh, a switch blank. Thank you so much. Echo loves eating trash. Alright, let's throw some crap away, shall we? What do we got here we don't need anymore? Old chunk of foam. I'm sure Echo found that somewhere and drug it up here. Oh, hey look, one of those top secret projects we'll be talking about. So that's the side now. Vacuum hose adapter. Sounds important. Some safety stuff. So you can put that away. A lot of random miscellaneous hardware up here, that's for sure. Air freshener that came with a Chinese temperature sender. Some replacement crush washers. No idea where that's from. Empty bag. Empty drinks. Also, I know some of you have been watching the new stuff in the store. The LED third brake lights are now active. Here's one. Look how small that is. It is so compact compared to the stock one. And so bright. I wonder if the camera can be blinded by it. Obviously in here it's super bright. I've got so many lights in the ceiling. It'll make you dizzy. But I'm betting this is bright enough to still be seen easily in here, even with all the bright lights on. Let's give it a try real quick. It's charged.
Link. Said. Are you allowed to auction on a live?
Oh man, this thing is so bright. I'm basking in a red glow now. I point right at the camera. You can see just how bright that thing is. Very easily seen. Even with all these bright lights right above me, it is bathing me in red right now. Haunting almost. So yeah, these are live right now. These are plug and play. This one is, I just started building this one earlier, but there it is. Plastic housing, Salmon Industries logo on the back, and it comes with a factory plug, plugs right into your stock wiring harness. You don't have to do any cutting, any modifying. You just uninstall the old one, install the new one. Those are on the store right now. Check those out. Set that aside for a second. Can I do auctions on live? Not very easily. I mean, I don't know if the terms of service allow that or not. I would assume you need permission to do that. So probably best not to. Empty boxes, empty boxes, empty bags, empty cans, gloves, tools, yada yada. Absolutely mangled bushings. Those are garbage. Another one, garbage. Broken studs, garbage. Old rusty hardware, garbage. Starter boot, torn, garbage. Fantastic. So this on the way.
Link said, imagine getting rear-ended and the guy tells the cops your brake lights don't work and then the power of the sun blinds the cop's face with tears of joy.
Oh man. Yeah, if somebody does not see this brake light, then they just weren't paying attention at all, because these are dummy bright. We also have the clear taillights coming in soon, and the clear taillights, I have scoured the globe for the proper LED bulb to make them super bright and very red. And I think I ended up buying, I think it was 22 different brands and style of bulb, just so I narrowed it down to the right one that you guys have crazy bright taillights. So anybody who has ordered, or I should say pre-ordered, the clear taillights, get excited. They're going to be super bright and very red. Same with the turn signals. The turn signals, very amber, very bright. Reverse light bulbs, very white, very bright. As I am messing with the stuff, I think I'm missing my tools. I believe they are all still in the truck from this weekend's activities. I need to make sure I get those back when Michelle gets home today, because she took the truck, so we can put all that stuff back where it goes before I entirely forget. This is a speedometer sensor from, well, I guess I should say 4 old GM transmissions for a project I am no longer working on, thankfully. It's trying to get a speed sensor to work for my GMC Sonoma, just to find out that it had the wrong transmission in it, and that's why the speedo wasn't working in the first place. So that problem is basically solved. Where is my other sensor at? There we go. Alright, well, for the few of you who have made it into the stream early enough, I'll start with one of our first secret projects here. This was the little shadow on the thumbnail, the very far left one. It was this little sensor right here. So, some of you may recognize this. That is a standard Festiva transmission speedo gear. So that's what drives your speedometer cable physically. Late Hyundai and Kias, a few other cars, when they switched over to digital speedometers, they left the physical drive in the transmission. Instead, they converted it using this little sensor. So this screws into a factory Festiva or any other Mazda front-wheel drive transmission from the 90s. It will screw in directly, and you plug that in, and this converts that mechanical output to a digital one.
Said, that's sick.
Heck yeah. So while this would be useless for most Festiva people, for me, I am building an entire digital dash for JD Festiva V2. So it's going to have an entire 4K screen for the dashboard. It's all factory-looking gauges that I've completely redesigned myself in Photoshop and Illustrator. And to get the speed signal, now we have an OE solution. So this will bolt right in. I don't have to run a custom trans sensor. I don't have to run any custom wiring or any custom extra sensor wires. You just plug this in. This will go straight to my dash and to my ECU. So now I can actually calibrate the ECU by gear ratio and have boost by gear enabled. I can have a small form of traction control enabled, all sorts of good stuff thanks to this speed sensor. So that's going to be super cool. And I'll be doing a video on it when that time comes, which is soon. I mentioned earlier, V2 is going to be one of the big projects on the docket for this winter. So there you go. That's our secret project number 1. And that's one reason this table is so messy, because I was trying to confirm that the output was correct. So I have a portable oscilloscope over here. And Steven came over and helped me. We were trying to figure out exactly which pins were the correct ones so that we could start making the wiring diagrams for the ECU. The first one I had was completely busted because it was just a cheap clone sensor. I had to buy another one. Now I finally have it all figured out. I have the correct sensor, the correct pinout, the correct wires, so we can put this away and clear up some dang old table space. Guess that stays in there. Let me unplug that.
Link said, "Now you're making me miss my Festiva more loudly crying face.
Hey man, you should have kept it. I mean, I know obviously it wasn't easy to keep, but now that you know how much you miss it, you can start trying to find a new one. Start watching Marketplace carefully and try to get one. It'd be worth it. Alright, and a big bunch of resistors also for the speedometer project. Man, this place is a mess. It's going to take me all night to clean all this crap up.
Link said, "Neons in Festiva are my life now."
Well, good. It's a good life to lead. Hard to beat that combo. I mean, I still do S10 stuff pretty well. I guess less frequently now that the S10 is basically done. But S10 stuff, Festiva stuff, general front-wheel drive, Mazda stuff. Speaking of general front-wheel drive Mazda, that's actually going to be one of the projects we're going to be talking about here in a little bit. I want to give a chance for more people to show up, though, before we reveal too many secrets. I know, what is it now? 4 o'clock, almost 4 o'clock Eastern time. So a lot of people still at work right now, obviously. If you're at work now and sneaking a view in right now, I appreciate it. I won't tell anybody. There you go. There's one of our projects we're working on. Electronic dashboard stuff. Actually, that lends itself very handily to another little project we've been working on, which is the far blacked out picture in our little sneak preview up there. I made a short about this. I made a post about it on there, so I guess it's not a huge secret, but it does lend itself very well to that digital dash.
Said, "Cool, so I can use an aftermarket MPH gauge for my B6T."
Yes, as long as the gauge you're using, as long as you can calibrate it. If it accepts standard pulse input and you can tell it I'm using X pulses per tire revolution, then yeah, that would convert your G series straight to a electronic signal. As long as you support a 5-volt output or 12-volt output sensor, whatever your ECU is using, as long as I can support that input. But yeah, some of you saw that on Facebook or on the YouTube short. This little Game Boy Advance here. This is all a bunch of custom work I've been working on for my gauge cluster, because I have a digital gauge that I'm building, but I still wanted to have a gauge pod for my boost pressure and my AFR gauge, because I want to be able to see those at a glance always and not necessarily have it all crammed into the dash. And now this is a little design I came up with. As soon as I power it up here, now we have the Sandma Industries logo. I don't know how well the camera can pick up the text on there, but that's A for AFR, B for boost. This accepts the standard 5-volt inputs from an AFR gauge and a boost gauge. You click the corresponding B or A buttons on the Game Boy itself, and boom, there's your gauges. So there's an AFR gauge with the scrolling bar. Obviously I don't have any data going into it right now, so it's just going to sit at a static point. Over there, I can try to wiggle it some and give it some resistance here. You can see the gauge move. And then we click on B for boost. And now I have a boost gauge. So this is all custom designed. I programmed this. It's based on Arduino. I carved out this stock Game Boy case to fit all the electronics into it. I then programmed it. I ran all the wiring for it. It's a 2.5-inch OLED. It's like a slight blue tint to it. So inside here, there's an Arduino Mega board. All the pins started across, power input, and then sensor inputs. And then I'll go down to this loom here with 4 last little bare wires. That's power in, ground, boost sensor, AFR gauge, or AFR sensor, I should say. So yes, very cool gauge. So all that design work. So this can be mounted up in the corner of the windshield where you normally mount your gauge pods on your pillar. So when it's off, it looks like a little Game Boy set up there. When it's on, you have gauges. You press both buttons, takes you back to the home screen. So yeah, I'm super excited. I think a 90s Game Boy tucked up in the 90s car. It's going to be very era appropriate, very Radwood. Super excited to make this thing work. But yeah, that's basically done. We just got to get all our connectors figured out and wire it into the car. And once again, that's a big part of this winter's project. We're making some huge progress on B2, which is my baby. A lot of you who are kind of new to Festiva stuff, or newer, I should say, probably aren't familiar with JD Festiva. I know a lot of the older guys who knew me, especially before I was like moderator and before I even ran the store, know the original JD Festiva and a bit about V2. But for me, it's a very big deal, and I'm excited to finally be able to start working on it on camera, on stream some. More random parts sitting around up here. We got the water pipes. Those are one of our newer items in the store. If you haven't seen those, you can get them now. It's a nice lower water pipe inlet for the water pump to replace all the old rusty, crusty ones. That needs to go back inside since we are done using it from that last engine reseal I did. I guess I can start putting some stuff over here that I need to take
User
back in the door.
said, "Did I miss all the secrets?"
Just one, really. We talked about our sweet digital gauge cluster conversion for the speedometer, so a cool project, and I'll be doing a guide video. Well, not a guide video necessarily, but I'll be doing a YouTube video on this. It won't be a step-by-step guide like my other ones are. I won't be getting into crazy detail, but I'm talking about where to get the sensor, what it's called, how it's wired in, all those basics. So that way those of you who are running custom ECUs, or you know a bit about wiring and you want to try something like this, you at least have the basics to know what you're doing and to be able to somewhat copy this. Basically, it's not going to be a secret. I'm going to make all the information public. I am not going to do a step-by-step how-to guide because it's going to be a little more involved than a standard like Festiva repair procedure. Oh, hi dogs. I got both dogs back in here now. I'm going to say hello. I wish they had thumbs. It'd be really helpful if they could help me clean up some of the stuff in here. Alright, power supply. We can tuck it back to where it goes. Been done with it for a while. Dogs.
User said, "Echo can help pick up trash."
She did, actually. She already came over and brought me some stuff, thankfully. She tried to take it outside, though. If I could just get her to take it directly to the trash can, that would be nice. Man, there's a lot of random crap in here. I've let this area get too messy for too long. I clearly should be doing this a long time ago. What are these even?
Emmett said, "Are you eating random things you are finding in there?"
Yeah, I'm just kind of foraging a little bit. Something looks kind of tasty. Just pick it up real quick. No, not quite. I brought this one out. This is half of a Nature Valley granola bar. And this Diet Dukan. I brought those out here. Everything else on the table, everything else on this table needs to go somewhere else. The table looks like that. TV's kind of in the way, but yeah, all that's got to go. Because I keep spreading stuff out for projects, forgetting to clean up after myself, starting a new project, repeat over and over. The next thing you know, your table's covered in stuff. And so is the floor, and so is every work surface I have available to myself. So today's the day. But it's messy from all these cool projects, so I figured while I clean up, why not take this opportunity to talk about some of those projects. free stuff. See if we can put all this back in a tote so I can walk again. Same with this. Looks like valve cover grommet. That's something good to have. Pack and zip ties, those have a home. More zip ties actually in here. Long ones I don't have space for yet. Empty boxes. Some distributors here. I think one of these has actually already been claimed by John, so thank you, John. I don't know how many people saw the news on the page already, but we did sell out of our first batch of coilovers, which is great.
User said, "Did the heater just turn on?"
Yes, is it too loud? I can tell it to turn off. There. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, coilovers. The first batch sold out, which is great news. We are already halfway through ordering the second batch, which is also great news. However, that means I am back to being like negative many dollars. So, for everybody else who missed out on the first batch of coilovers, the pre-order link for the second batch is live right now. So if you want to get on that second batch before they sell out, hop on the festivastore.com and go get yourself a set of coilovers. Round 2. Just as good as the first round. It's going to be a fantastic time. But the more of those we sell, then the less likely or the more other stuff I can get that I've been working on. So we are also working on things like mud flaps, clear marker lights to go with the clear turn signals. The rest of the, I guess I haven't talked about that one yet. That one will have to stay a secret. Either way, a lot of cool new parts coming, but I've been having to spread it out so that way we can do big purchases like the coilovers here recently. So if you're interested at all in coilovers, check those out. Check out the LED third brake lights. A few of you guys saw these earlier. They are awesome. They're crazy bright. They're available now. We finally have the boards for that done. Let's see, where does all this stuff go? These probably need to go inside again. Go play. Go play. Go. Go, 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 go. Go, dogs. Go. Ugh. More tools. Prototype cam seal and crank seal installer tools. Those are 3D printed. The first batch was a pretty decent success, so I'll be finishing those up, and those will be available on the store soon. Set of injectors here. More garbage. Here is another one of our top secret projects I was referring to before. I will talk about this for a second. So this is a tow hitch for a Toyota Yaris. So a while back, Michael Silva on the page was making, or trying to make, some sweet little brackets so we can make proper, strong tow hitches for Festivas. He started them a while back. Some prototypes were made, but recently I went ahead and bought all of the files for those from him, so that we can sell them on the store. And I've been trying to find a way to get somebody to make them, or try to get it to be like reasonable DIY. That way you guys don't have to weld a ton on your own. And we finally have what I think is a really good solution. So this is a Toyota Yaris hitch, which uses the small style end plates. It's a tick longer than what we need. So what you do is you can buy one of these on Amazon. When they're on sale, they're like 90 bucks. We'll be able to buy these. You can just chop the ends off, weld on the brackets that we're going to make available from the store, and boom, we'll have a very nice, super strong tow hitch for a Festiva. Bolts right into the rear tow hooks on any 90 plus Festiva, so 9093. It's going to be awesome. I went ahead and got one for testing, so pretty soon we will be testing these out, doing the welding here, and then posting the results. It's looking like it's going to work great, and when it does, then we can make those plates available to you guys. So that's super cool. Great news. Right now, however, it does not need right in the walkway. We can move this out. Oh, pretty parts laying around, trying to take pictures. If anybody wants to buy Capri parts, send them my way. Oh, so much stuff. Really trying to filter through what all is useful and what all is not. I don't want to hoard a bunch of useless crap up here. I have plenty of that as it is. Random thread locker up here. Hose clamps. Those actually do have a home. Should probably find where I put the home. Move those all back. Don't need that. Probably won't need that. Some wiring stuff out of here. Alright, more random stuff. Hose clamp pliers. Every time I use these on camera, I mention them, and now that I'm giving them away, I will mention them again. This kit was like 30 bucks on Amazon. It has come in so much handy. I hate dealing with spring clamps. They rock. Like, as far as reliability, it's really hard to beat a factory spring clamp. Way better than cheap worm gear clamps, but they are annoying to get on and off. This kit makes that so much simpler. Highly recommend it. But now those can go away up here somewhere. Pick can go up here somewhere. I even got OEM Mazda spring clamps, brand new from Japan, to start replacing all of my old worm gear stuff. If anybody needs clamps, hit me up. I bought a bunch. Way more than I need, for sure.
Said, what kit was that again?
Which kit was what? Oh, the hose plier stuff? This one, no name brand. It was just the cheap Amazon set. But I really just wanted 2 pliers out of this kit. I wanted the ones that like hold it shut or hold the clamp open, which are
One.
these.
Said.
So these hold it open.
Yes.
And I wanted a pair of the ones that push fuel line off your other hoses. So those just like little spreaders that help spread the hose and push it off its barb. Those two tools alone were like $40, like $20 a piece, so it'd been $40. This whole kit was $36. But it looks like that. There are tons of these. If you just look up hose clamp pliers on Amazon, you'll find the sets. It comes with like every type of hose clamp plier. They all self-lock. The spreader one. These up here are sweet because they get in the small spots. This little tip right here goes on the clamp itself, and it's got a long, like, 1.5 foot wire, so that way you can reach really hard to reach clamps and then still squeeze them with the pliers from a distance. So, yeah, just go to Amazon, look up hose clamp pliers. You'll find the same style kit. Should have like 7 pliers total in there. Would highly recommend. Less than $40. This nonsense down here looks like a pile of trash and some tokens. We got a spare tie rod end for some reason. One tool. The rest of this looks like garbage. We're gonna throw all this away. My garage door apparently wasn't sealed all the way a couple weeks ago, and all the wind and fall weather has put like 400 leaves in the back of the garage. So after we get the floor cleared of like tools, I need to come back through and clean it up so I don't have what's used. It's garbage. So I have leaves all over my garage again. Alright, hose clamps, they can go back where they go. Well, at least close to it. Now, more tools. We have a progress update on a project a lot of you have been waiting for. These, as I'm sure a lot of you recall, are the 3D printed dash bezels. So we finally built our new fancy giant printer, and this was the first test print we made of these. It came out flawless, which is fantastic news. It printed this whole thing in 4.5 hours. It's insanely fast for a printer to print an object this large with this much detail in it, if it will focus, no weird artifacts and stuff, in just 4 hours. That's awesome. However, the heater system is still not quite correct, so this was the first try to do the ABS.
SK.
Yes.
Said. Smiling face with hard eyes.
Yes, hard eyes indeed, but I don't know if that's going to show on camera very well. But you can probably see, yeah, that's got a whole curve. Like the entire face is curved. So this is ABS. ABS is way harder to print, but kind of necessary in an interior of a car where it gets hot. This is PLA. It's nice and perfect and straight, but in the heat over the course of 6 months, this will kind of warp and sag. It needs to be made of ABS, which is very hard to print. I canceled this one halfway through because, as you can see, it was starting to warp off the bed. All the surfaces got curved, made a ton of buildup on the edges, and got all rough. So we're still getting the printer tuned to print engineering grade materials like this. But when we're done, we'll be ready to sell these. So we're getting very close. A couple bit of adjustments to the printer and an adjustment to the internal heater, and we're going to have these made of ABS, OEM, bolt-in, factory style clips, everything new, ready to go. It's very exciting times. This one is garbage because it doesn't fit. But this one, great proof of concept, and it shows that this machine is capable of doing it and doing it fast. Alright, what we got here? More random pre-bits. I can't even reach my own door right now, so until I clear out space in the shed, I'm going to lay these here. I know it's not really cleaning up when you just move stuff around on the floor, but it'd be a pretty boring stream if I just keep walking out to the shed to drop off parts every 5 minutes. So for now, with the stream still going, I will just set the stuff aside and save the trips outdoors for after the stream. I don't want to bore you guys to death. I'm sure this stream has limited entertainment value as it is, I'm trying to make sure we have a good mix of showing off projects, but also me getting stuff done, because for those of you who missed it earlier, I need this garage cleaned out so that we can pull the engine and trans and wiring harness out of this car, because it is manual and runs, or the engine works well. We need to put those into the car outside, which is automatic and has a dead B3. So we're doing a full auto to manual swap. This is the donor car. Car fixing is outside. I'm going to try to do it all in the course of like 4 days this week on stream. So we need to prepare for that stream by cleaning up the garage and cleaning up the mess all these projects have been making. And I say these projects, obviously I mean the mess I've been making, because I'm not cleaning up after myself when I should be. But that's the deal. So I figured, why not have some people join me in the garage while we clean up and talk about some projects. There's another fun one. I've talked about this in the past, but I'll mention it again here since I gotta go put this one away. This is a turbo downpipe elbow from a Nissan GTIR Sunny. So those are overseas. They're factory SR20 turbo front wheel drive. This will bolt directly onto a Mazda Speed turbo, basically any other Garrett GT2554, which is the big turbo I'm upgrading to on my B6T. But this fits our stock, or not stock, it fits those turbos on the stock manifold, but has a much better angle and much better design than ours. If you import these, you can then bolt them on, make a much better exhaust system. So I have this one that's kind of messed up, and a cleaner one already on my car. So if you get a chance to find one of these, definitely get it. Upgrade to the big turbo, much better flow. I have a video, one of my oldest videos, if you go way back in the list, called Turbo Time, where I talk about this in more detail, along with that big turbo. I would highly recommend checking that out after the stream. But I gave this one to Steven. I need some help getting these broken studs extracted out of here, because this was used. Steven has also given me this beautiful Chinese blow-off valve. Since I'm going with an aftermarket ECU and a slightly bigger turbo and my own custom piping, I can safely run a blow-off valve without messing up any of my airflow meter stuff. And while this is not like a name brand one or anything fancy at all, it just sounded right. Steven had it on his GT2554 B6T car, and I think this was like the perfect sounding blow-off valve, despite being a cheap Chinese clone. But I could not find this exact one available again from eBay. It's like an old model that's made sitting around. But the sound from this one is like exactly the sound I was looking for. So instead of buying a real one, I figured I'll just keep using this one till it breaks, because it's the sound I'm looking for. So yeah, not necessarily the most reliable or the best part, but I'm after the sound that it makes, and it makes it, so why not? Alright, stock Festiva inlet tube. Should probably put that somewhere. I had a space for, well, yeah, I guess I put it with the VAFs up top. The little donut goes in this box. Fantastic. Festiva distributor. It's a good thing to keep on hand. Some extra coilover parts. I guess if that's all in the cart, we can leave it in the cart for now. Also, if you weren't here earlier in the stream, we talked about YouTube membership options. So thanks to all of you guys watching my stuff, we have passed the 3,000 watch hour mark, and we now officially have YouTube memberships as an option. There are 2 tiers membership. The first tier is like $2 a month, and it gives you access to custom emojis. I have my face in some goofy glasses as an emoji. I have my little bee profile picture as an emoji, and JDMC the V2 itself is an emoji. So if you become a member, you can start using all these sweet custom emojis. If you pay for the higher tier, you get all that, and you get a discount on Festiva Store. So by supporting the channel, you can directly support me and our YouTube adventure here, and now get a discount on the store. That's fantastic news. Actually, that reminds me, I want to see if, as the channel, I guess, owner, admin, can I actually use my own emoji? That would be cool. Let's see. I actually don't remember how to use YouTube emoji.
Industries. Said. Meta.
Meta, okay. Yeah, how do I type in the emoji? It's hard for me to do on my end since I can't hit the become member button since it's my channel. However, memberships. Oh, look, there it is. Yeah, check it out in chat. You can paste my little head with some silly glasses on.
Industries. Said. Underscore will.
Ah, do underscore first. All right. Well, yeah, there you go. So if you're in chat right now, check it out. If you become a member, you can type these or any other silly emojis that we come up with.
Industries. Said. Underscore meta colon underscore meta colon underscore JDMV2 colon underscore JDMV2.
Fantastic. Thank you, chatbot, for reading all that out. So yeah, check it out. If that sounds really, it's just a fun little perk to help support the channel. So, but the more members we have, the more emoji I'm allowed to make. I'm limited to I think 3 or 4 right now. But I think once you get a few members going, you can start adding more. So if you guys have any suggestions of fun emoji you'd like to see pop up in the chat, stuff that you'd like to spam at me when I'm in here working, let me know. It's going to be a really cool way to do some community engagement, I think. Ew. I think probably the biggest secret project of all is hiding behind this cart. Looks like we've still got at least 7 of you watching right now. So if you want to see the big reveal for the massive secret project I've been working on this weekend, this will be it right here. So if you're just listening, I suggest switching over to actually watching this, because this is very cool stuff. Step 1, so I try to lift with my legs, not spine, because this thing's kind of heavy. And step 2, point the camera down a little bit. Just gonna scoot that about there. And grab some more little show and tell item. Alright, let's talk super cool top secret projects real quick. Right here, I have 2 transmissions, sort of. This is a Mazda G5M or G15 or G25, depending on the generation. But this is the Mazda G series. This is a trans we all talk about when we want a stronger transmission in a Festiva. This is a cable G series, which means it has a physical clutch cable to activate it. That's what the Festiva already uses. This, in the US, is only found on B6Ts, so that'd be the Mazda 323 GT and the Capri XR2 Turbo. This is a very strong transmission for Festiva use. This is the one that you want. Anybody that's been doing transmission work knows you want to try to find these. They're getting very hard to find. They're kind of rare at this point. And this one has a massive hole in it. Yeah, so this one had a little too much power sent through it on a hard pole, and it shot the diff pin right out the side of the case. So I have this saved because it's a good way to mock up dimensions, because it doesn't weigh anything because we hollowed it out. There's no gears in here right now. Over here, this is a 2012 Ford Fusion manual transmission, which might sound kind of odd. What am I doing with a transmission from a rather recent Ford Fusion, especially when compared to this, which has been around since 1985? Well, because, and you won't be able to see it from up there, but if you were to look at this sneaky little sticker on the side, you would see that this says Mazda G6M. This is a 6-speed G series. This is some very cool stuff that even I just recently found out about. But the big 6-speed manual transmissions found in a very limited number of Ford Fusions and like the Mazda 6 and a couple other bigger cars that we don't get in the States used this transmission. This internally is nearly identical to this. This has a bigger differential. It is cable shifted, so it's a hydraulic clutch, so a big hydraulic arm, and then it's got a series of like long bike cables basically coming in from the car that move a series of levers here on top. But as you can see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Said.
6.
OMG face screaming in fear.
Yes. This, however, obviously is a bit bigger than that. This bell housing, if you can see it from on the camera, looks nothing like a B series. That's because this is nothing like a B series. This would not bolt to a Festiva in any way. These mounts don't bolt to a Festiva in any way at all. So it doesn't quite work. However, some internet wizardry has found out overseas.
Said. Super exciting.
Yes. So what you should be able to do in theory is take the gears out of this box and then shave down 4 or 5 components with a Dremel, make some extra little clearances here and there, shove all the guts into this case, and have a 6-speed G series that bolts right onto a Festiva, or bolts, in my case, directly onto a Protege, directly onto a Probe, directly onto basically any 90s Mazda engine that used a G series previously. So it's BP, B6T, Protege, FS series like FSDE, FSDET, Mazda Speed Protege, KL, KLDE, KLVE, those big V6 that I have in the Protege. By swapping the case components, you can make them work. And they have an entirely extra set of shaft bearings. The G6M uses 2 more giant seal bearings under the end cap, which is reinforced aluminum instead of stamped steel. So you get rid of some of your shaft flex that makes the G series considered to be a weaker trans by people who have bigger cars than us. So yes, get very excited. I will hopefully be the first person in the world to have a 6-speed KL swap Protege, and if this goes well, I can apply it to something like this and potentially have the world's first 6-speed B6T Festiva. It's super exciting stuff. I will have more details about this on a future video. We have some testing to do. I want to make sure this all works correctly before I tell you all to go try to find this stuff, because it's very expensive. That's the other big downside here. These are incredibly rare transmissions. There are so few manual Ford Fusions sold, and it can't be a 2013 and up. It has to be 10, 12, 11. That's it. And it has to be the 2.5 liter Duratec i4. When these come up for sale in like Carpark or they come up for sale on eBay, they're usually around $1,300, which is insane. But I got this one for a bit less than that. I'm trying to find other sources overseas to try to get these a bit cheaper. But yes, if you're willing to spend the time to build this and you're willing to spend the cash, you can potentially make a 6-speed Festiva, which is so cool. I will have more on that when we do tear this transmission down. Steven and I will probably be tearing this apart on a live stream early next year. I'm talking January. We'll be tearing this stuff apart and giving you guys a closer look onto the kind of modifications I'm talking about and how exactly all this works. But this is the other big project. I've been researching a lot the past month and a half, and we finally found a good donor. Steven came down with me, real bro. We went all the way up to Michigan. If you didn't see, go check out that live stream. It's on YouTube. The recording is. It's super choppy because our internet connection sucked. We were using Steven's phone's hotspot in the middle of nowhere in Michigan. So for some reason, YouTube kept working great and then pausing and working great and pausing. So every 5 seconds, it jumps to a new section. But you can watch Steve and I pull this from a wrecked Fusion in the middle of nowhere and talk about it a bit more on there. Maybe. I think some of the conversation gets cut because, again, bad internet. But that's really cool stuff. I can't wait to dive into this more and show you guys some of that. Festiva community, always on the rise, always doing some world first type stuff. Super cool. So that's that. It has left a big leaky mess all over the garage floor because I took off the 5th gear cap to look at it with Steven. So that's more cleanup I have to do, but all for good reason. Very good reason. That's heavy. I'm going to leave it there for now so I can clean up the mess it made. And then one other cool item we have on the floor, over in the way of the floor over here, you can probably see a bunch of white packages. Those are less exciting. That is all just oil. I bought a bunch of oil in bulk from Jegs for cheap. In front of that, though, is a crate, and in this crate is a cylinder head. And it's pretty grody, but maybe real quick with my cleaner here and a rag, I can wipe the top off at least a little bit. There we go. So for the eagle-eyed among you, or the eagle-eyed who are also on really fast internet and also have it set to 1080p, might be able to see that that valve cover indeed says 16 valve right there in the corner. Those of you very familiar with Mazda engines will probably see this and think, yes, of course. He has gotten himself a B6ME head, which is a single overhead cam, 1.6 liter, 16 valve engine. But you would be mistaken, for this is a B3ME. Yes, this is only sold overseas. We never got this in the US. This takes your standard B3 and converts it to a 16 valve single overhead cam B3. And since it's 16 valve instead of 8, the head has a much nicer shaped intake port, a much nicer shaped combustion chamber, a smoother exhaust. And you can see there, look at that, that's a standard pent top style roof, just like a B6T uses. You can boost this. So anybody out there who wants to build a B3 turbo car, we always tell you don't, because you'll just burn up pistons. If you really want to, then buy one of these, because these will support boost. They have the correct flow. They have the correct head pattern. These can handle a turbo. So you can finally have that 120 horsepower turbo B3 you've always dreamed of. All it needs is that fancy head. I wasn't planning to build one. However, some scrapyard I watch every now and again over in Europe had that on sale for 15 euros, which is $17. I don't want to talk about how much shipping cost, but the head was 17 bucks. So now we can save that for a future project. By future project, I mean probably a couple years away. Obviously, I've got plenty of other projects to last me for a while. But for now, we will sit on that till the appropriate time. Also, I saw Dawn became a member in chat. Thank you for that. If you go to where it says chat, there's a smiley face icon. From there, you should now be able to click our cool emojis. Or if you type in underscore Will colon, that should also type in the emoji of my face, I think. So very cool. So everybody say thank you and hello to our first Salmon Industries channel member, Don Samet. Thank you so much. Make sure you spam your fancy new emojis. Looks like I left my multimeter out as well. Man, I wouldn't have to do all these massive like weekly cleanup deals or monthly cleanup deals if I just did a better job of cleaning up after myself. You'd think after these many years I would have learned something. I guess not. And then there's some dowel pins in here from another project that is left sitting around. How silly. Got a little pull out of the way. It's random resistor. Random pin. Alright, now that I have enough floor space to actually move this chair around, I want to open the floor up to all of you lovely viewers in chat. Is there any other project you have been dying to know more about? Or any projects I've forgotten about? Oftentimes I will start some projects, I will find some problem or something that either I need more time or more money to overcome and they get kind of left behind, and I don't remember them until some of you say, hey, where the heck is that one thing you were making? And I'm like, oh yes, I forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me. We should jump back on that. So to all of you checking this out, what is something that you have missed out on or been curious about recently that I have not mentioned here today? Or if you weren't here for earlier in the stream, you just want to see something else that you think I might have already talked about that you missed, now's the chance. Hit me up. Any questions or anything else you guys want to see? Because I know there's a ton of stuff going on that I have been teasing or looking at. And I want to make sure to A, get updated and reminded about them, and B, give you guys some news. It's also a lot more entertaining, I'm sure, to hear about cool projects than to keep watching me clean up my garage, despite that needing done. I will probably at some point leave the stream running and continue cleaning up. Maybe we will find a playlist of some royalty-free music of some kind, start some jams, and get down and dirty, clean up this place, clean up all the space in here. I also need to prep the ceiling rafter area because the clear tail lights are supposed to be here, or supposed to be unloaded from the dock on Wednesday, which means they're probably getting to my house Friday or Saturday, and there's like a quarter container load of these. We have so many clears coming that I'm gonna have to store them all in the ceiling just to make room for them. So I gotta prep the ceiling and the ladder so I can start unloading all of these clear tail lights into the roof. So that's the other project we gotta work on today. And then I will, at some point, possibly, probably, stop the stream and make a new thumbnail and start tearing apart the scar.
Morrison said, B6 Turbo Car Project.
Yes, so we are doing basically two B6T cars right now. One of them is the other one right beside us. That's the one that's on the guide video. That one, we are going to be having the next video come out, I think, early January. The video that talks about everything you need to pull from the Capri. And at the end of January, we'll have a video coming out on the wiring guide, showing you how to do all the wiring, and possibly even some fancy new connectors for that. To update the progress on that, we were waiting for our rear mount stuff to get done, and I found a company willing to make the rear mounts. So the Festiva store will be selling fancy custom-made rear mounts to help you make the mount to bolt the transmission from the B6T to your Festiva the right way. I also found another company willing to help me do some CNC work so you can sell the engine side mount. All that's left for me to fabricate are the front mounts, and I'm still not fully decided on how I want to do that. So, but that is coming soon.
said. Underscore will I mean, who wouldn't want to see that handsome face?
I don't know, that one's a little goofy. Handsome is a stretch sometimes, but I mean, I like it. It was a good thumbnail. Finding a pair of yellow safety glasses buried to the back of a yellow Festiva, it was fate. So the other turbo car project is Festiva V2 itself. We will be working on V2 this month and next month. That's going to be like a huge focus for a week and a half, is just going through and getting some major work done on that car. That's going to be a lot more involved than a standard B6T swap, though, because we're going full custom harness from the ground up. We are building our own custom intake. We are building our own custom radiator solution. I am making my own gauge cluster. I am completely or partially shaving the engine bay and doing even more paint work, all custom interior panels. There's a ton involved in that project. It's a big deal. So with that in mind, I have some people coming over to help with that this next month and like over December break. So December, New Year's area, we'll basically be streaming the whole week after Christmas into New Year's. 7 days straight of just working on that thing, streaming it, making a ton of great progress, having some friends come up, some people with a lot of skill, a lot of Festiva experience. It's going to be awesome. So I highly recommend checking that out when the time comes. You get to see a ton of custom stuff, all like 5 years of research and work culminating into the ultimate Festiva project as far as I'm concerned. So I'm super excited for that. It won't be a guide video because there's way too much custom stuff going into it. Some of it I will be, making guides later. I'll be filtering it down into making it like parts available to everybody. But generally, that's my personal car. That's my build, and it's stuff that I'm really excited to show you guys, especially people who haven't seen the car before, who aren't familiar with it prior to it being parked in here on jack stands. See if I manage to not tip over in this chair this time. Ugh. What else are you doing here? I need to get these leaves out. Probably unpack some of those oil things. And I definitely need to get this Capri crap out. Looks like I also got some used oil I should be cleaning up at some point. I don't want that laying around and getting tripped over. All right. Not a ton of questions, I guess, beyond that. Either because there are no questions or because I did such an excellent job already describing all the projects that there's nothing left to be said. Either way, I guess we shall continue, crack on with the cleaning, despite my spine's objections. It is supposed to rain like Wednesday night, Thursday, so all the stuff that I'm cleaning today, I need to make sure I have it back outside under some sort of coverage in a shed or under some kind of tarp. That way I do not ruin anything. Like these Capri parts, for instance. Same with the intake and stuff, I suppose. You can go out that way. Ugh. Another used tie rod. Gross. Like these need to go inside. All these up and go in the garage. I had PVC stuff in here because I was trying to build a little chamber with a valve stem in it to pressurize and hold the TPMS stuff from my Maverick, so I would quit having the light turn on. And it turns out I'm a piss poor PVC gluer, I guess, because it leaked everywhere. So I abandoned that project. I do need to find a safe place to store all these TPMS though, so I don't lose them. Bunch more capri parts up here. Hi, big dog. It's Maverick! I think Maverick should be an emoji for the channel. Every time you see the big dog, you can put the big dog emoji up.
Horace said, "Well, can you fix my 3D printed cup holder?"
Depends. If it's broken, like if it's snapped on the bottom, you can try to re-glue it. Super glue is a direct bond for ABS. It's a perfect like 1-to-1 bond. If you can't glue it, then I'd be happy to send you a replacement. So like I can do warranty replacements for the cup holder stuff if you get a broken or if it breaks. So just send a message to the Festiva store on Facebook, and either I or Michelle will get back to you on that, and we'll get you covered with a replacement one. Ooh. Get out, doggies.
Gobbler said, "Echo is growing fast."
Yes, she is. I mean, she's past Maverick's legs now. She can no longer crawl under him like she used to be able to. Look at that. Echo. Come here, puppy. Can you sit? No. Look up. Can you sit? Good girl. Maverick, can you sit? There you go. There's a very terrible size comparison since Maverick's out of frame. But yes, look at that big dog. Look at that little big dog. Oh. She is goofy. She's lanky. She makes funny noises when she sleeps. Every time she gets tired, she starts going, ow, ow. What a goober. What a big goober. Oh. I remember back in the day, I used to be able to hold her up to the camera, and now she's kind of big for me just to pick up and put right in front of the camera. Hi, Echo Dog.
Gobbler said, "Do you even farm?" BS.
Yeah, you like the shirt? No, it's been a while since I've done any farming. I'm a fraud. I got a bullshit shirt. Hey, quit. The transmission left a nice film of fluid all over the floor, so try to clean up a little bit. Don't bite those. Echo still loves biting things, biting hands, biting garbage, biting thighs, biting Maverick. So very bitey little dog. Very bitey little dog. What are you doing? Bite me. Hmm? Yeah, come on, you. Come on. Go outside. Go outside. Go, 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 go. Go, go, go. That's better. Don't need them eating all this trash out here. I think this is dead. It is indeed missing a heat insert. Usable still. Kind of running low on those. Might as well fix that one and sell it. Alright, these are all part of that 6-speed, so I will leave them with the 6-speed. An axle back in there. Fork back in there. That's garbage. Leave that alone for a minute. Some of these put away. Should probably drain all that fluid. I'm getting a little nose blind. I've been in here for a couple hours, but earlier all I could smell was that gear fluid. I hate gear oil. It's one of the worst car chemical smells. Especially if that little dog not trying to come in here and take a sip.
Emmett said yes to a map emoji.
Alright. We'll make it happen. And again, the more members we have, the more emoji slots I can unlock. YouTube limits me to 3 to start out with, but if we get some more members in here, we can start making even more custom emoji. I'd love to hear you guys' ideas for stuff like that. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, you also can see a discount on Festiva Store stuff with the higher tier option. We now have officially linked the Festiva Store to YouTube. As a matter of fact, right now, if you'll watch our older videos, you should see a selection of products just listed at the bottom. That's not curated yet. I haven't chosen those items, just picked it at random. But in the future, when I make like installation guide videos or a video mentions certain parts that you can buy, I can now link you directly to the store where you can check out quickly and easily and find the exact item we're talking about. Which I think is super cool. Alright, that's clean enough, I think. Still a little stinky, but whatever. It is, after all, just a drain pan. These cat litter jugs make for excellent oil disposal containers. They hold quite a bit, and they have a nice wide mouth, a big cap. Fantastic. What else we got in here? Tons of random free stuff. I think we put all that in one tote and sort through it some other day. Right now, that's not the focus. We have got to get that car started. Or I could say work on that car started. So I think that makes all of you trash. You can be kept. That is garbage. I don't even know what the hell that is. Cheap light is broken. Garbage. Garbage, 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 garbage. And as always, for those of you who are not members, just being here and watching the channel helps a ton. So if you don't want to spend the extra couple bucks a month, don't feel bad. I get it. I also don't like to spend random money that I don't have. So just being here for the stream, leaving it playing, just watching the videos, every watch hour I get puts me another step closer to YouTube, giving me a couple bucks a month for my efforts. So I really appreciate everybody who came out today, everybody who's currently here now. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching. You're really helping out me and the channel by being here. Or random old greasy hardware we don't need. Gone. Got like 100 of these old oil pan brackets that I don't think I'm going to need again. Maybe we'll keep one particularly clean set. Like that one, that one, that one. Alright, one stock oil pan bracket set. It's still got the factory ionization on it. The rest of this can go. I'm guessing let's go to this pan, which looks pretty clean. So we will drain this out and tuck this away for a rainy day. All of that, drain the rest of the way in the trash can so I don't have to deal with it on the floor. It's like front strut, pretty in the way. Cooling fan can go back away. Didn't end up using it last week. Alright, I think that's everything else clear off the floor that requires me to be in here, and the rest I'm going to start cleaning up when I go back outside. So there we have it. That's a good look at some of the future products we're doing, some of the future streams we're looking at doing this car this week. So anybody in here who's going to have some free time or wants to come hang out in the garage and see this thing, check out the stream. We're tearing this whole engine and harness out. We're putting it in the car. We're going to be doing some nice cleanup, some nice resealing. It's going to be a good time. Then after that, we're doing basically a month and a half straight of very awesome custom B6T interior electronic wiring, custom ECU, all sorts of great stuff. If you guys are into learning stuff about cars or about wiring, about tuning custom ECUs, you're going to want to watch these because we're going to be covering a ton of super cool stuff that you normally wouldn't see, especially from a Festiva channel. A lot of my guide videos, are more focused on stock stuff, how to install parts, how to do certain services, timing belt changes, that sort of thing. This is going to be finally like some really deep, very enthusiast-focused tuning, enthusiast-focused custom project stuff. There's opportunity to learn a whole lot and to join us on this very cool journey of customization. I would highly recommend being on the lookout for those notifications. If you aren't already subscribed with the little bell icon, make sure when you go to the page where it says you're subscribed, there should be an option to turn on notifications. That way you get a little thing to your phone that says, hey, Sam Industries is live.
User said, so much cleaner.
Yes. Despite not having gotten rid of all the stuff hiding behind the yellow car, at least from what the camera can see, if my chair was not in the way, look at all that cement. You can actually walk in here now. And then the engine stand will be in use. The last couple crates there will be going out to the shed outside. And then those jugs of oil, I will try to clear out some space to stack those in a nice place instead of right on the floor. But yeah, very cool stuff. But yeah, I think that's basically it for this stream. Unless there's anything else you guys want to see or want to hear about, let me know. Alright, as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for joining me today. I hope to see a lot of you again tomorrow. I'm sure we'll be starting in the afternoon and going till very late at night. So be on the lookout for that. Same old, same old. We're tearing a car apart and we're booting out of here and we're fixing another one. It's going to be great. Thanks for joining, and I hope to see y'all next time. See ya!